and welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tehrani. Thanks for watching. We're at Interrupt 2011 in Las Vegas. On our program is Scott Register, the Director of Product Marketing at BreakingPoint. Scott, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So many people know your company's in the testing space. I'm hoping you can tell us a little bit more about what your company does in particular.
Okay, so specifically, we give our users advanced insight into the performance and stability and security of their devices and network. This is what we call the resiliency, so we let you understand how your networks, your applications, your devices will perform out in the real world. You know, when you get them out of the clean lab and out into the wilds of the internet, how are things going to work?
So exactly what sort of metric do you give to customers regarding resiliency?
Well, so one of the innovations that we've brought to the market is a resiliency score. So we have a very standardized, scientific, objective way of determining, how fast, how stable, how secure a device is. So you can do, very simple apples-to-apples comparisons of multiple devices, right? So you could do a firewall bake-off and know very quickly and easily, this guy got a 94, this guy got an 83. I know this one is better than this one. Or you can track changes over time. If I make a firmware update or I change my IPS signatures, did my device get better or worse?
Right. Now, part of what you have to do is to track malware.
Yes.
And I recently saw news on TMCnet that you have tracked at least 27,000 pieces
of
malware, right?
So we've just added a new free update for our customers where we're giving, 27,000 new pieces of live malware. And that's in addition to a strike library that's around 5,000. So we have network-based attacks, we have browser-based malware, we have client attacks, server attacks. So the very broad spectrum of things that your networks and your devices will be subjected to.
So I noticed in your booth you've got a bunch of companies that are showing different things. Can you tell me about those companies and why they're there?
Yeah, so we are the standard for IT resiliency, right? So as an example of that, Underwriters Laboratory, they've started a new network resiliency practice, and we are the sole provider of network test and measurement equipment for Underwriters Lab, and that's because we've done all this work around resiliency scoring, and because we are the standard there, other customers like Cisco is in our booth, and they're using us to show how fast and effective their new ASA firewall is. Fortinet is in our booth showing off their application awareness capabilities. We've got Juniper is in our booth, Crossbeam. We have a number of different vendors in the booth because they use us in development, and they also use us to show to customers how well their devices will perform in the customer's network.
Now, there's some things happening in layer 2 testing as well, right?
Right. One of the announcements that we made here at the show was a new feature set called Bitstream. Traditionally, BreakingPoint has focused on the hard stuff, that application layer testing and very realistic security and voice over IP and like database testing and things like that. And customers have gone to other kind of legacy test tool providers for the layer 2, 3 stuff. We're now taking that space, basically. So we're expanding our feature set to cover that traditional layer 2, 3 testing, but we're doing it with our approach, which means it's very easy to manage, very point and click, easy to drag things around and make it work. And instead of just having kind of dumb packets, we let you, do low-level stuff, or you can use real applications in that layer 2, 3 testing. So that's so that when we do this, it's in line with our pattern of innovation.
So congratulations on winning Best in Show at Interrupt.
Very exciting.
What did you win for?
So we have a new product, the Firestorm CTM, which is our new high-performance blade and chassis for doing device resiliency testing. So we can do 120 gigabits of stateful application traffic out of a single chassis, and we can emulate 90 million concurrent users. So that's a lot. I mean, that's massive. That's the internet in a box.
And who would need that?
Carriers and people who build equipment for them are the ones who, also government agencies who are doing various kinds of testing. They're the ones who need that kind of massive scale. But the feature set that it offers is used by everybody from smaller enterprises up to those service providers and carriers. So you can kind of scale the performance to the level that you need down to single gig throughput or up to that 120 gig.
And the devices could be smartphones in theory, right?
Yeah, we'll emulate millions of iPhone or Android users, doing FaceTime or going to the App Store or doing other, real applications over it. In fact, we just introduced an LTE test lab that I love showing things like this off because our customers get really excited because they've never seen that kind of capability in one place. They've always had to go, cobble together multiple UIs, multiple chassis even to do different levels of testing, like in a wireless network. So we put it all on one screen and we abstract away the kind of configuration details that you don't really need, and we automatically do all that stuff for you. LTE is very complex. It's hard to do. So we even give you like a map of the network. So you can point and click on things. If you don't know what it is, we have a little pop-up help that explains, oh, this is a cell phone tower. This is the internet. This is, so we explain what an eNode B is and things like that. And I mean, literally customers are blown away because tests that took them days to set up and run before, they can now do in like 30 minutes and be done, down to very, very, I want my users to do these applications, I want to mix in security, and I want to understand what happens if I get malformed traffic and things like that. We make it very, very easy to do that. So yeah, that's pretty exciting.
And nowadays, time to market for rolling out 4G is crucial. I mean, we've got carriers worldwide that have iPhones and a number of tablets on their networks that are just choking off the 3G networks, causing massive amounts of churn and reduced ARPU. And so the challenge for them is, how do I roll out 4G quickly and do it in a way that's secure, especially if I've got, in some cases, jailbroken devices or devices that are running malware on them that potentially can harm the network.
Right.
They're getting really smart, these devices, right? We've got dual core chips running at 1 gigahertz or higher.
Oh yeah, your device is a lot smarter than my laptop was 5 years ago.
That's the
right?
iPad 2 that I'm holding in my lap. Not inconspicuously anymore. So really what you're dealing with is helping carriers to protect themselves and also roll out more quickly so that they can provide their customers better service and reduce the churn and hopefully attract customers from other carriers. Right.
And I mean, every network, every virtual data center can be broken, and we let you know when that's going to happen, right? So we let you find what's the next weakest thing before you go live, before you deploy. So instead of breaking down at 1 million users, you can go up to 10 million tablets on your network, or 12 million iPhone users or whatever. So we let you know that stuff very quickly before you go live.
That's fantastic. Well, thanks for being on the program. This was great.
All right. Thank you very much.